I don't want to turn this into a competition. First things first, you absolutely need to moisturize your face. Cold weather is coming, and for me personally, I know cold weather likes to dry my face out a bit, and we are not doing that this year. I am going to be using two primers today. The first one's a primer spray, and when I used it yesterday, I went and did at-home Pilates after, and my makeup quite literally stayed through all of that. So we're going to do it again. It's the B.F.F Hydrating Brightening Primer Mist. This stuff, honestly, it smells so freaking good. I'm also going to go in with the F.A.R.A.H Smooth Focus Face Primer. I feel like this stuff just really helps everything on and smooth everything out. For my next step, I'm going to be taking the Catrice Under Eye Brightener, and I am going to cover up my pimples. It acts as a color corrector so that then cancel out all of my redness. I do have a first impressions video coming up. I do compare it with my concealer that I use. This should not be a shock. I did choose the Yenza Super Serum Silk Foundation. The reason I chose this was because it's super buildable. I get the best of both matte and glowy and all that. Next, we're going to do our cream contour and cream blush. The reason we're doing this now is because the cream contour I have is kind of a cooler shade, so it gives more of a shadow-like effect than a bronzy effect. That's what we really want under our jaw and on our cheekbones. We are also adding these because your makeup needs layers. The nice thing about doing your blush before your concealer is that if you go overboard on your liquid blush, you can use your concealer to cover it. For concealer, we obviously want to brighten our under eyes. Obviously, I already used the under eye brightener, but that is too dark for my skin tone. I am going to put the concealer on top of it. We're also taking it on top of our lid to create an eyeshadow base. Also, just a tip, the longer you let your concealer sit, the more full coverage it will be. If you dry down a little bit, pigment is not going to be picked up by your brush or your sponge as much as it would be if you just went in and blended it out right away. So let it sit as long as you can. I typically let mine sit for a few minutes. Some people let theirs sit for like a whole half an hour. I don't have time for that. I'm a mom. So I just let it sit as long as I can. When it comes to powder, we do want to kind of be light with our hand. Under my eyes, I am going to load it up a little bit more because I want it to catch the fallout if there is any from my eyeshadow. We're just going to lightly set the rest of our face. Now we're going to start our eyes. For the eyes, you had better believe we're going a little bit bolder. But we're going to do soft edges, but yet smoky and bold type vibes. You want to look like fall came and just decked us in the face. I love burnt orange, auburn, and browns and golds for fall. They all give cozy pumpkin spice vibes. I'm gonna kind of go off of that. We're gonna start with a medium brown shade. We're gonna put it on our outer corner, our crease. This is our transition shade. Don't forget what one you use because we will be coming back to it. Okay, if it doesn't look perfect right now, we're going to be adding layers so there's time to fix it. Sometimes certain formulas take a little bit longer to blend out than others. They do not have to perfectly match shape-wise with this first shade. And if you feel like the edges look too harsh, then you can go in with a lighter shade and blend it out a little bit. Buff out those edges to make them even softer. Next thing I'm gonna do is take a darker brown. I'm going to just place it on the outer corner, only just before the center of my eye. Right now, we're just building the foundation. We're also going to take that in the crease ever so slightly, keeping it below the first shade we did. And we're going to take that first brush and we're going to blend that all together. Now that we have that, we're going to take a dense, tiny brush and we are going to take a super dark shade, either a brown or a black will do. We're gonna stamp it on the outer corner, kind of making a mini wing. And you're going to blend that out, keeping it on that outer corner. And you just repeat this process until you get the level of smoky you want. To touch this up, you want to go back in with your first transitional shade and just go back over right where you put it. And before I put those palettes away, I want to use a fluffy flatter brush and go under my eyelid. It's kind of up to you what shades you want to do. I personally am going to go in with my darkest shade and the transition shade next to and partially on top of that. Now that we have our depth built, I do want to add a tiny pop of color, so I'm going into an orange. Decided I'm gonna go on my whole inner lid. And honestly, this shade, this pop of color, can really be any shade that you want. You really could go anywhere with it. You could do like a light brown, or you could do something even crazier, but don't forget to put it under your lash line as well. Then we're gonna touch up our eyelid. Going to go right around the pop of color that we used, and I used orange. From here, you can make it your own by adding some shimmer on the lid or in the inner corner, or you can keep it matte, giving a softer look. I can't go anywhere without shimmer. I ended up putting it right over top of the orange. Ended up putting a little bit of an orangish shimmer in the inner corner, and honestly, I do feel like fall came and punched me in the face. Then we're gonna tightline our eyelids. I'm gonna go put on lashes and I'll be right back. Lashes were not lashing, so I just loaded up with a crop ton of mascara and called it good. Good enough. Really want to balance out the warmth in our eyes, so we're going to put our bronzer pretty much where we put our cream contour earlier. We're going to put it under our cheekbones and on our forehead and on our nose a little bit and under our jaw. Then we're going to blend out those harsh edges, and we are moving on to blush. I really must admit, blush is 100% my favorite part. I love a good red blush. It gives the perfect amount of glam mixed with, I just came in from the crisp, cold fall air. It definitely looks very bold at first, blends out so beautifully. You can't tell me that's not one of the most beautiful blushes that you have ever seen. Obviously, I love that blush, and I really truly almost left it at that, but I was feeling a bit ombre. Used a second shade. I obviously can't go anywhere without a little bit of shimmer and highlight. I freaking love highlights. We're gonna use a pretty subtle highlight today, and we want it to give catching in the sunlight glow. For brows, we're keeping it simple, doing our usual. Do whatever you normally do. I personally like to do a little bit of brow gel, and then I use my e.l.f. Time for lips. I really debated going with a glossy lip. I figured matte screams Brittany in fall. I'm just a matte girly, what can I say? I kept going back and forth between if I wanted a nude shade or a brown shade. Settled for the perfect in between, I think. Not to mention, these lip paints by About-Face are just the absolute dream to apply. They're also, just a pro tip, if you are worried about having dry lips during this winter and fall season, just really any season at all, put on a lip balm or a hydrating lip mask before you put on your lip color, or you can just top it off with a gloss. All right, so here's the final look. So there is my fall makeup guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I had so much fun making it. I have been waiting literal months to make this video. So just as a recap, we have a cozy fall ready makeup look, a soft yet bold and smoky eye look with some red blush, and of course a matte lip to tie it all together. This look is super wearable, cute, just gives autumn vibes. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what your fall go-to product is going to be. I love seeing what you guys are obsessed with, and thank you for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys next week.